Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and I'm outside. It's 8:02 p.m., July 22nd. It takes about an hour from this point for it to get dark. Usually around 9. Of course, it's going to be, that's change. Of course, it is changing daily. But anyway, today I made a lot of videos. I was out big chunk of the day today. I guess it was around 10, I don't know, sometime this morning, and then on into the afternoon to around 2 or 3, sometime then, I don't know. Oh, and then I slept the rest of it. Pretty much, I was tired, so tired. I'm still learning my limits, and since I had that heart failure, which, you know, the doctor that diagnosed it was in the hospital, ER. Oh boy. Then when is this going to stop? I doubt ever. Or I can barely speak sometimes. But when he diagnosed, he said, it's just a warning. It was that next one that wanted all this money. Run tests, more tests, more tests. This one, somebody's making money off of. Lots of money. That one, yeah. But I still don't know my limits. I still don't know what I can do and can't do. Here it is. And that was in March, and now it's July. Okay, and still having problems with trying to schedule appointments, keep the schedule, because they'll say, call like they did last week, one of them, on that one that I needed, and a different doctor though. And first visit, they rescheduled. Really? 3 weeks later. Okay, and then I scheduled 2 different appointments, 2 different kinds of doctors, and one of them I really need. Seriously. I was diagnosed in January, with somewhere around January, and the first appointment, I've already had the first appointment, and they've told me different times, says, not that doctor's office, but in general, in that whole group, I guess you call it, so that, have said things like, well, after the first visit with me or that whichever one, it won't be so long for another appointment. Well, this one didn't say that, but I'm trying to make an appointment, a specialist, and trying to make an appointment today, and this is July 22nd. The first appointment is in December. I said, well, I'm to the point now where I ask the people scheduling, because they are the ones who are scheduling. And I said, I've been told things like, once after you have your first appointment, you don't have to wait months that it's long for your next appointment. And this one, she kind of laughed and she said, yeah, it's supposed to be like that. Or something, she mumbled, something in agreement with. It's ridiculous. And then the other one is a doctor. I thought I had an appointment already for October. He's my original doctor, the one I wanted to stick with, but I didn't have an appointment. And it's 2 months, it's a month and a half maybe or something later after I tried, and his appointment is still in October. His first appointment. And the PCP should not be that way. They're the ones that actually were the first ones to tell me back in 2023 that after the first appointments, it's never as long of a wait. And then what this one said, are you sure you couldn't see the nurse practitioner instead? I'm already saying that I'm going to see the nurse practitioner for something else, but I want to see my doctor. I like him. But do they? I don't even think they really know what their staff does. Seriously, I don't think they know that they're, like the doctor will say, the specialist, the cardiologist, the whomever, say, make an appointment in 2 months, and when you go to schedule it, it's 4 months. And right then, she leaves the room, whichever one it is, and they'll come in and to schedule one, or they'll tell you to stop up front and make an appointment. And like one of them, the cardiologist, He's come in there to schedule, and I told him, I said, he said 2 months. Both times I told him what he said. Second time and she called another person in there like they were going to tell me I have no right to say stuff like that to them. You know, some of these people work for doctors think they are somebody else. And I'm never mean. I'm not a mean person. It's like, well, he said 2 months from now he wants to see me again. You know, tell him, you know, it's because he's putting me on this medication or whatever is the case. This is what he said. You know, I'm nice about it. That doesn't sound it's so nice, but I'm nice about it. And they get all rude and like, oh, how dare you? How dare you? God, it's something else. Anyway, this was not what I started this video for. It was not. I guess what's on my mind is on my mind. Yeah. I just am amazed, seriously, at what some of these I sit here, you know, I'm 62 and I'm going through, you know, this big health thing. Of course, it helps to, on top of other things, just getting older, to bring about things of looking back at my life, you know, and things that have happened. And really, it's not just about me, but it's about overall things that have happened just in society, just the social, how things have changed. That's part of it, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. You know, this way with what I'm seeing with these doctors is, oh, let's make more tests, let's run more tests, test. And it's like, when do you diagnose? When do you tell me you're diagnosed, your diagnosis or your diagnoses? When do you explain to me, therefore this is what we need to do and we need to talk about this? Not you deciding what's going to happen, but we discuss it. And I decide if I want to do that or not to be told, well, you need to do this test, jump from A to Z and test it. You know, A is, hey, this doctor's saying nothing's wrong here. So is this one. This one is an actual cardiologist. And you all of a sudden decide that I need to have this big old test that is intrusive and could kill me. This procedure, let's say procedure. Is it medically necessary? I'd recommend it. Well, yeah, you recommend it. Do they really think they invented this stuff? Seriously. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of some of the stuff, you know, I've seen that people do to other people. Not just me, or even me, not even me. But just seeing stuff that, or seeing stuff that people have had the nerve to say or do about me. You don't have total control over things that happen to you in your life. You know, some people put it out there that you do. You have control over everything. No, you don't. They say, well, you have control over the way you respond to it. No, you don't always either. Don't even go there. You know, you go somewhere and you see somebody. You're in a mall or you're in a store and you see somebody hurt a child. You'll slap a child's face. You got total control on how your body responds to that? No, you don't. You might think you do. You don't. Some people put out such nonsense. Really, that's another thing I'm tired of. People put out nonsense. They hear something one time from somebody, and they think that, oh, this is going to make me smart if I say it. You know, so they'll go, and the next thing you know, this is everybody's saying this, and they're saying everybody's saying it. You know, to them, everybody. It's common sense. And common sense is like the worst thing I have ever heard anybody say. Have heard anybody say, and it just caught on. You know, common sense. You know, it's what you think, and the people who think like you think. That's what you think is common sense. No, it isn't. Try logical sense. Try it. Just try it. Do you know what it means? So, don't mean you. I'm just, you know, tongue-in-cheek here. But it's just ridiculous. Tired of that kind of stuff. Tired of people. Now, I've actually read, and I like to Google, and I see that, you know, some of these AI overviews and such, they're quoting, and I kind of figured that it was this way. and they're quoting stuff that, well, I would not see as, and it does say that there can be mistakes and all this kind of stuff. I wouldn't find it as something that is a voice of authority, like somebody's opinion on one of these. I'm not going to name them, but there are two of them that I know of. And they just put an opinion, and lots of people are going to read those. And that doesn't, just because a lot of people read them and a lot of people, comment on them, that's not, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. But to me, well, I shouldn't say that. I should say this. When you see somebody who's popular, their views on a whatever social media platform, whatever one, there are plenty of them. And there are some main ones, and then there are some that I've never heard of, and they seem to be popular to some people. You may have never heard of what I know. They were or are popular. But whatever it is, and they see people who have a lot of whatever it is called, subscribers or whatever, followers, audience, whatever is the term, and they have a lot of views or reads or followings or whatever, and they think that because they have a lot, that means that the person is the best choice, is the voice of authority, knows the most. No. Why would that be the case even? I mean, yourself that maybe there's a thought that, well, everybody knows this. And there are people who say, nope, that's not it, it's not it, it's not it. And because of the fact that they're arguing it, and there becomes this kind of debate back and forth, they become popular. The other side becomes popular. There is this whole split. And there's some of them sitting on the sidelines eating their popcorn, watching the fight, So seriously, does not make either side right. Correct, I should say. But anyway, you know what? I'm going to wrap this part because I was going to do a video on something else. This has been my day today. I've just been doing videos that aren't really about topics so much. Anyway, wrapping it up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.